The experience of stress is so unavoidable that attempts to eliminate all stress would simply create more stress. However, some types of stress are benign or even helpful, and all stress can be minimized and managed. Even small steps toward stress relief can bring great payoffs as they lead to a chain reaction of positive change. Therefore, efforts made toward stress management, particularly well-planned efforts, really can transform your life. By gaining a deeper understanding of what constitutes stress, where it comes from, and how it affects us, we can know what steps to take to better manage the stress in our lives. First, let's deepen our understanding of stress. What we mean when we talk about stress. The term stress is used to express many things and can be used as a noun, verb, or adjective. I'm dealing with too much stress in my life. I'm stressing about how to get all this work done. This is so stressful, I have a stress headache and stress cravings for chocolate. While we generally know what we mean when we use the word, there are a few nuances to be aware of. When we talk about the stress in our lives, we are generally talking about stressors. A stressor is a situation that causes us to need to act and that can trigger our body's stress response. Such triggers can be positive or negative, but they all have in common that they require a response. Basically, stressors are the things in our lives that cause us stress. When we say that we are stressing, we usually mean that we are coming from a place of feeling the effects of stressors in our lives. Our stress response is triggered, and we are not functioning as our usual relaxed selves. You will hear more about the effects of stress and how the stress response alters your regular patterns of functioning, and the main thing to remember is that there are many ways, both obvious and subtle, in which we change when we are facing an overabundance of stressors or are not handling them in an optimal way. We are more likely to snap at people we care about, make mistakes that we wouldn't normally make, eat foods that we know aren't good for us, and do things that can actually create more stress in our lives. This book is designed to help you get out of that stressed state and function from a place of being centered. When things feel stressful to us, this usually means that the demands of the situation exceed our available resources for coping. These resources can be psychological or physical. If you do not have the money to pay your mortgage, do not have the extra time to complete a massive collaborative project at work, or do not have the patience to handle 20 screaming toddlers for the afternoon, your situation will feel stressful to you. Sometimes we have resources available that we do not know how to obtain, and other times we need to find a new way to handle the situation. But much of stress management is about maintaining the internal and external resources to help manage the stressors that come in life. I will be discussing that throughout this book as well. Now that we have a clearer understanding of what we mean when we talk about stress, let's explore the different types of stress. Some kinds of stress can be good for us, other kinds can be detrimental, and they need to be handled differently. Because of this, it is important to understand what you are facing and to know what your goals are with stress management and what they should be. Not all stress is the same. When we read about stress in the media, most of what we read is negative. When we talk about the stress in our lives, rarely are we extolling the virtues of this stress. Studies on the effects of stress generally document its detrimental effects. However, not all stress affects us the same way, and not all kinds of stress are bad for us. Most of us experience a mix of the following types of stress in our lives. Eustress. This type of stress is actually beneficial to have in our lives. Eustress, which is Greek for good stress, is the type of stress that keeps our lives exciting. This form of stress gets our blood pumping and puts us on the alert, as do other types of stress,